The Idoma had an oracle so powerful, warriors wouldn't fight without it. Among the Idoma people of Benue State, the Alaku ancestral cult was more than religion. It was government, law, and even military strategy. Before a war, warriors would seek Alaku's approval. If the oracle warned against fighting, they held back. If it gave blessing, they marched forward with confidence. Alaku was also a court punishing crimes, settling disputes, and keeping morality alive in the community. Colonizers tried to suppress it, calling it pagan. But for the Idoma, Alaku wasn't superstition. It was a system of law and power rooted in ancestors. The truth? The Idoma oracle shows us Nigeria's tribes didn't need outside courts to govern. They already had justice enforced by spirits and tradition. Nigeria had binary code before computers, but they hid it from you. The Yoruba divination system, Ifa, uses 256 odus. Each odu is made from combinations of single and double marks, cast using palm nuts or divining chains. To outsiders, it looked like fortune-telling. But mathematicians now see it clearly. It's binary logic, ones and zeros, patterns of probability. While Europe was still centuries away from inventing computers, Yoruba priests were already using a coding system to calculate destiny, diagnose illness, and settle disputes. Colonizers banned Ifa, calling it superstition. But Ifa was never superstition. It was knowledge science dressed in spirituality. Today, computer scientists even compare Ifa's structure to modern algorithms. So the next time someone says Africa had no science, remember, the Yoruba were running binary systems long before Silicon Valley.
Power and respect, power and respect, power, honor, and respect. Divine all blessed peace and love, joy and prosperity, greetings and salutations. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Voodoo Hoodoo 101. Promoted, sponsored, powered by, promoted, produced, supported by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day. Become a part of something extraordinary. New Orleans International Voodoo Day is not just an event. It is a movement that celebrates culture, fosters education, and connects people from around the globe. By sponsoring this event, you're supporting a tax-deductible cause that preserves heritage, uplifts art and education, and fosters healing within the community and beyond. Your sponsorship goes beyond promoting your business. It demonstrates your commitment to cultural preservation and education while supporting a unique event that brings international recognition to New Orleans. Events like symposiums, art exhibitions, sacred processions, and global speakers offer unparalleled opportunities to honor history and inspire a brighter future. Supporting an event like this means empowering a community, enriching cultural understanding, and making a meaningful impact on the world. It connects your brand to a celebration that values unity, diversity, and progress while helping preserve traditions for generations to come. Join us in celebrating a legacy. Explore our sponsorship tiers and help us make New Orleans International Voodoo Day an unforgettable celebration. Together, we can uplift the community and inspire the world. We certainly appreciate your continued support and participation in our 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, weeknight, U.S. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. podcast on a social media platform near you by way of our StreamYard link, which is scrolling now at the bottom of the screen. We're certainly grateful for you and yours, D Goddess. Greetings and salutations, beloved. Daniel Neal, thank you so much for your continued support and participation. Nina Lloyd, greetings and salutations as well to you and yours. And we will unmute our beloved co-host, Queen Mother, Sister Toni Martinez, Elder Reggie. On this platform, we identify as Green Soap, founder and leader of Shrine of the White Cloth, and our beloved member, team member, and community member, Bianca Johnson Plessy. Louisiana voodoo is a synchronistic system of practices and traditions, with which we've spent the last few months really in enumerating its rebirth in the New World as well as its ability to activate revolution, change. Voodoo was more than religion, it was resistance. Enslaved people used it to preserve identity and build solidarity, even organize revolts. The famous 1811 German Coast Uprising, one of the largest slave revolts in the U.S. history, had spiritual undertones rooted in voodoo. The Storno Rebellion, also known as Cato's Conspiracy or Cato's Rebellion, was a significant slave uprising that occurred on September 9th, 1739, in South Carolina. It was the largest slave revolt in the South Carolina era, with 25 colonists and 35 to 50 African slaves killed. The rebellion's leaders were likely from the Central African Kingdom of Congo, and the leader, Jimmy, was a literate enslaved man. The rebels marched south towards Florida, where they believed they could find freedom and land. The rebellion was a response to the Spanish proclamation offering freedom to runaway slaves and was fueled by the harsh realities of slave life, economic motivations, and the desire for autonomy. The Storno Rebellion revealed the lengths to which enslaved individuals would go to resist their subjugation and left an indelible mark on the community and the institution of slavery itself. The Catholic Church tried to suppress it, but voodoo adapted. Saints became loa, altars blended crucifixes with African symbolism. It was survival through synchronization. Can you think of other ways oppressed communities have and can use culture and spirituality to resist dominion? And as I begin to unmute my beloved co host, I want to um, remind us of the story of the Garifuna people. The Garifuna people history is characterized by a long legacy of resistance against colonization and colonialism, and their vibrant spirituality, which shares some elements of voodoo, played a crucial role in maintaining their culture. The connection between these concepts is primarily found in the context of resistance and anti colonialism. The Garifuna history and resistance are of an Afro-Indigenous people who originated on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, also known as European. Their ancestors include shipwrecked and escaped West and Central Africans who intermarried with the indigenous Arawak and Kalinago or Carib peoples in the 17th century. And unlike the enslaved populations of other islands, the Garifuna were a free people who built their own society. For over a century, the Garifuna and indigenous Kalinago fought fiercely against British and French attempts to colonize St. Vincent. This culminated in the Carib Wars of the late 18th century, led by Chief Joseph Chartier. Following their final defeat by the British in 1796, thousands of the Garifuna were exiled to the islands of Roatan off the coast of Honduras. And from there, they migrated to the Caribbean coast of present day Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, and Nicaragua, where they established new communities and again developed culture and tradition. While there is no evidence of a direct historical link between the Garifuna spirituality and Haitian voodoo, they share similar themes rooted in Western and Central African traditions and a history of resistance against oppression. Their traditional practices combine African, Amerindian, Catholic influences, and it centers on the veneration of ancestors and can incorporate Catholic saint iconography. An African diasporic religion that combines West African traditions with Roman Catholic elements. Ancestors or Gubida are venerated through elaborate ceremonies like the Dugu or Dudu, which are performed to seek healing and guidance. A central aspect is the service of spirits, known as Loa, and many of whom are synchronized with the Catholic saints. The rituals often involve drumming, dancing, animal sacrifice, food offerings, and spirit procession. Practices include elaborate drumming and dancing ceremonies that will often lead to have the purpose of providing for spirit possession. And their spirit leaders, known as shaman or bayi, or, or bayi, Buyei, act as priests or priestess, hogan, or mambos that lead these ceremonies. And the role in revolution, the Garifuna spirituality was not, again, necessarily directly involved or linked to slave revolts. But as the Garifuna were never really enslaved, much like the Maroons across the New World, instead it served to unify them during their fight against colonial powers and help them to endure exile. Voodoo provided a crucial force of inspiration and unity during the Haitian Revolution of 1791 to 1804, the only successful slave revolt in modern history. But we indeed find many of those elements throughout the New World, from the tips of South America, Brazil, Central and South America, and certainly here in the New World. And what say you, Sister Toni Val Martinez, Elder Reggie, and our beloved Bianca Johnson Plessy?
Hello, good evening, everyone in the listening audience, panel members, Elder Reggie, Bianca, Divine Prince. That was some interesting history. I had scraped the surface with them, but I never went in depth into them. And that was nice history that you just gave. It's going to make me go back and do some more research.
And there are a lot of them in New Orleans, by the way.
Yes, that's how I
Mhm,
ended up.
mhm.
That's how I ended up doing a little bit of the background, but I went to something else and didn't go deep into it. But now I'm going to go deep into it. Don't they have a festival or something they used to have here? a date like they would do their festival?
They do, or they did. I'm not sure if it's still happening, but absolutely.
Oh, okay. Hey, Sister Bianca, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good. What say you?
I'm the same thing. You know, one thing I noticed is that I like coming on to this show because I feel like I do learn a lot, especially when you don't be in school for a long time. Sometimes I be feeling like I'm back in history class again. Like a history class, an African American class, or something. And so sometimes I be knowing some stuff. Sometimes I learn new stuff, and I'm like, I get extra excited. And sometimes, like you said, do be making me want to go on to a venture of trying to study and pull up these things and learn more about some of these things also. So that's the same boat that I'm in right now.
Yes, you do get a good history lesson here. Because a lot of stuff I have realized that, oh yeah, I once started looking into that, but then something else came up and I stopped. And hearing it again, now that I have time, sends me back to go in a little deeper. What say you, Elder Reggie? How are you tonight?
Yes. Peace and blessings, Sister Toni, Divine Prince, Sister Bianca, and the collective audience in the chat. The Garifuna people, they have a nice presence in the New Orleans area. But I want to say Dr. Sabi, who of fame from a few years back, who passed away, I believe he was Garifuna from Belize himself. But at the shop I have in New Orleans East on Morrison Road, one of the co-shop people there is Garifuna. She's Garifuna, and I get to talk with her a lot. She comes into the shop and usually purchase little small stuff. So it may be Florida water or some of the air sprays, the different air sprays you could spray within your building. She runs a thrift store, and we get to talk. And when she came in the shop, she said, "Oh, I got to show you something." So she goes on her cell phone and she shows me like the Hugons, if you want to call that, back home, where she's from in Belize. And she was just showing me pictures. And as Divine Prince was reading, it really does put me in the mind of the Haitian people. Yes.
Mhm.
We have a sister who's from Honduras, who's Garifuna in La Source. She comes to choir rehearsal and Creole class on Monday nights, and she often frequents the ceremony at La Source on Saturday nights.
Yeah, I knew we had a good presence here. Well, I knew they did. A lot of my stuff is basically pre-Katrina, and I knew they had a
Mm-hmm.
strong one. I was gone so many years, and when I came back, stuff was kind of rearranged and wasn't happening no more, and new stuff was happening. That's why I have to get back into a lot of stuff that is going on, and I still haven't physically got out into anything. My big thing is always studying.
Well, I will
Mhm.
overshare here. I did date someone who was Garifuna from Honduras back in 2009, 2010, 2011. And the local Garifuna would gather every Saturday and drum, barbecue, sing the songs, celebrate much of the ritual practices that they would, do from back home. So I know it's still very much active, at least post Katrina. That footprint and that
Mm-hmm.
activity is still here present in the city. Greetings, brother Joshua Nalantana. Okay, Joshua's
Brother
just coming.
Joshua, you there?
He's just
He may,
coming in. He'll
yeah, I
unmute it.
saw he just came in. He might not be on the mic yet. Um, we
But we
I know
basically,
that one lady that you was telling me about. You said that we have a member that's from Honduras. I do
yes.
remember because I had met her one time in the choir practice, And there was something that was interesting that she had talked about. I know she said that a lot of the things that we do in New Orleans, it is kind of some of like some of the things are similar. Like it's similar to what they do in Honduras also too. You know, some of them they may have like different names for certain things. But I do remember that she was saying that a lot of the stuff is kind of the same. And I just remember when I met her, she was like, like really excited to be a part of the group and learn more. And I know she had said something about she had a book. It was a book or something that breaks down all the different gods and goddess and the loas and stuff that's from Honduras that's similar to some of the things that we talk about here in New Orleans also.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up the gods and goddesses, which I'm really not too familiar with all of the ones that we have in Ifa.
Mhm.
I I just really, really, really didn't get too much into it until I got older. And I didn't
Mhm.
go into deeply into all of them. I know some people can call a divine prince can call them off, just rattle them off, but I can't. And I need to be able to really, because we need to be calling on some of them with the state of this country right now.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. With that, yeah, well, Sister Tony. With that being said, that the ticker tape that Divine Prince usually put at the end of the show, and that's a call out because we are coming as a collective, different discipline, different prayers, to try to help heal the country. I'm just saying, and it would be nice if you could come out one of these events. I know you don't get out that much, and that's what we are working at doing. Yeah, the new moon ritual. I just
yeah,
wanted to add that.
that sounds very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I usually do a new moon ritual privately to myself in my backyard. But
Okay.
yeah, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to. Brother Joshua, did you ever come in?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. I'm actually in transit right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the I didn't get the chance to hear the beginning of the show, so I didn't get a chance to hear what the topic of which I was discussing. To chime in,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I know you guys were just talking about Honduras and um, I guess the Latin influence within Santeria and Voodoo and its relationship. That's
Yeah,
what y'all talking about.
and the question was, can you think of other ways oppressed communities have and can
Mm-hmm.
use culture and spirituality to resist dominion?
Yeah, the way to do it is by uniting, not merging and changing what you do, but building strength where you're weak, building and where you're strong, lend a hand. I would say that much just to be simple about it, but I think that we can do that, and that's what really kind of gave us the strong hand and upper hand, and a lot of the resistance that we've had been successful at. So, like the Black
Hmm.
Lives Matter movement. I mean, recently we think about George Floyd and how the world came together. Just on the idea of a police officer killing unarmed and
Citizen and doing it with everybody watching without a care in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know really. I was doing some research and I know y'all may have heard over the weekend where the ICE and military and police ascended upon this apartment complex where they
Mm-hmm.
had black residents. and kicked in doors and dragged out children in the AM hours and zip tied people, even the children. One of the military people or whoever they were, the police, the ICE, was heard to say, F them kids. When somebody was trying to tell him about the way they was handling the kids. I expect more of that to go on. More of that to go on. And I call those people that do that the Gestapo. That Trump have doing those things. They utilize helicopters. People ascending from helicopters on roofs. And then they just said, oh, we was looking for gang members. That's all they have to say. They don't need a warrant. They don't need anything. You know, Trump has given them all access. And it's also started a frenzy with the fringe, those extremists, to do stuff on their own, to act on their own, which they don't acknowledge when they do it. So we just have to really stay on our P's and Q's and be aware of what's going on around us.
Sister Toni, that's a good point. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in and tie into what the question Divine Prince was asking. Now, on Broad Street, I think it's at Broad and Bienville, there's a botanica, but it's a Spanish-run botanica. And I went into that store and some of the deities and gods they had, I just was not familiar with it. And so I know a lot of them are not necessarily into Santeria, but they have some type of discipline, I don't know what to call it, where they are using spiritual medicine also. I just don't know the name of it or how they call it. But I do know some of the Mexican Americans and some of the Mexicans are doing a spirituality.
Yeah, a lot of Mexicans are doing the spirituality. Ty, when you lived in Texas, you had a lot of them came to you and they couldn't even speak English.
Oh yeah, they kept me alive in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Soon as they found out what you were.
They had a visceral understanding, and they would often push their children, 8, 9, 10, 11, to interpret for them. But they knew just on sight what was going on and had, you know, well experienced expectations about the process.
And I think that was one of the first times you had to clean somebody in the stream, huh?
In the creek, yes,
Yes.
indeed. The natural creek is running in the woods behind the apartment complex. And you know, the cleansing and getting in the water, you know, we all done that. But baby, when them Latinx women would start peeling off their clothes, the first time that happened, I was a bit taken aback. It's not something that, you know, Black women are necessarily comfortable doing, you know, in a public urban setting. But they were very comfortable. They were well acquainted with the process of providing limpia, the Spanish word for cleansing. And it became routine. Mamas, grandmamas, uncles, niece, nephews, the kids, and we'd all be back there in that almost like Jurassic Park environment. This old creek in the woods, down the embankment behind this apartment complex that we lived in North Dallas.
Yeah, I remember you called me after that first one, that undress, and you was shocked about how confident and how easily she did it. Like, oh, I do this every other day. Come on, let's get it over with. But you were just kind of shocked at, you know, how they was getting into it and how they knew what to do. They just, I don't think, had the tools.
Right.
And
go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to add, they I know like we doing Fat Gede the 1st of November, but they do is a Santa Muerte, and they brought that energy in, and I was not familiar with that energy until I seen the Mexicans bringing it forward, and they start selling stuff within the gifts, just regular shops and Dollar Tree and stuff like that. And I said, well, let me pick up a book on it just to get some background. Yeah, so they are bringing a particular energy also to the area.
Yeah, they are. They
Mm-hmm.
really are.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we have so many diverse people that live in New Orleans, and everybody is kind of like doing their own type thing until we have to find each other. We have to literally find each other because there's so many cultures here that have
Mm-hmm.
a few people here and a few people there, and they meet in like maybe groups of 5 to keep doing what they're doing. And I think we need to figure out some kind of way to find all of these people, no matter what type of spirituality they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It's a good
And
point.
I
For real.
noticed.
go ahead, sister.
No, I was just going to comment on what you were saying, because what I had noticed is like when we have the Day of the Dead festival on November 1st, I had went to a couple of them, and they, like you said, they have like so many different culture, different variety of race and people, even like Hispanic people and stuff there that come to that event. And what I noticed is that even though everyone is different, and everybody have a different understanding on whatever their beliefs and stuff is, I noticed that music brings a lot of people and culture together. I do notice that like the drummers and stuff there, when they get to playing the drums and the music, it hits people in so many different ways. I feel like a lot of music and stuff brings us together, like just variety of people together in those type of settings and environment. No matter like you say with the Hispanics or the blacks or Centennial or different religious cultures or things that we believe in. I be feeling like that music play a big role in bringing a lot of us together in those type of events.
Yes, that's the
Mm-hmm.
drumbeat. That's why the plantation owners learned this early in the game, not to let their slaves have drums,
Mm-hmm.
because it communicates to us. The drum is our heartbeat. The drum is
Mhm.
our heartbeat, literally. Every people of color play the drum with their hands. They know
Mm-hmm.
the drum. They have the drum in a type of tambourine alike.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's what connects us, the music. It connects us. It takes us. And if you
Mm-hmm.
notice, them other folks really can't do the drum. Every now and then you run across a couple that can do the drum set, but they really can't do the rhythm of the drum too well. The congas and all those types, the
Yeah.
djembes and all those types, they don't do those very well because it's not their heartbeat, it's not their rhythm,
But
and
Sister
that's
Tony,
the way.
I just want to add something with that. But I noticed to me the Hispanic guys, they beat the Congress pretty good. But I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
if we classifying them as Europeans. I just don't know. But they could really get into it.
No, I'm not classifying them as Europeans. No, not at all. To me, this is African. They just got off at a different boat stop. That's all. They just
Okay.
happened to get off at a different stop than us.
Yeah.
We all come from the
Yeah.
same place, and because basically the plantation owners were not on those islands as much as the plantation owners oversaw the plantation in Americas. They still kept their drumming. The overseers didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
They did their dances, they capoeira. I mean, they could do their music. They was
Yeah.
allowed to do the music, and that's how they incorporated, the hand-to-hand combat that we call capoeira into the music.
Yeah.
That's how they trained with the
Mm-hmm.
drums beating. So, yes, they really they were not denied their music like we were here in the States.
Makes
You
sense.
know,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and they kept it and they do it real good. I mean, I was married to a Cuban, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he said he teed on the drums and he taught me how to play them. I mean, he had a beautiful set. And he
Mm.
would often go to some of the spiritual events they would have to play the drums, the Santeria events, but I
Mm.
never went with him. I
Mm.
was either working or something working. It had to be working. That's the only thing I did. So I had to be working and wasn't able to go with him, but he used to go and get paid to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sister
Yeah.
Toni, let me ask you a question right now. Right now on social media is a hot topic button with a guy named Bad Bunny. He was picked to play in the Super Bowl, and he got America. He got America in kind of in an uproar right now. I'm being honest. I don't know his music, but can you speak to that, please?
Bad Bunny real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Garcia, I believe is the last one. He's from Puerto Rico, which he's a citizen of the United States. And the
Okay.
maggots who don't know any different, all they can see is he a Mexican and they want him deported.
Mm-hmm.
They want him deported back to the United States. That's the thing they have. He's a person of color. Cause they saying they want
Okay.
somebody that's American. And somebody listed all the people that did the Super Bowl halftime show that was not American, but he is American. So they just
Mm-hmm.
getting chopped up all kind of which ways with everything they come up with about him. But now they saying the NFL has no place in politics. But when Charlie Kirk had to get a moment of silence, the NFL asked for that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Charlie Kirk wasn't an owner. He wasn't a player. He wasn't affiliated,
Mm-hmm.
but they still, did that.
Yeah.
But so now they're
Mm-hmm.
not political and they shouldn't be political. But it's not political. It's long overdue
Mm-hmm.
for somebody with a Hispanic background to perform now.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
last year they snuck that guy, Kendrick Lamar, under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
everybody know Bad Bunny is Hispanic. They just didn't know what Hispanic he was. A lot of them off the bat thought he was Mexican and started saying deport him. And now, they done made it clear that ICE is going to be at the stadium. Well, thanks for the heads up,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect too many Hispanic people to come there anyway. It's not a concert, and the price of the
Mm-hmm.
tickets is too high. And now, since you done told everybody you're gonna be there, those that work there gonna call off sick or not show up. So you're only hurting the companies that sell stuff within the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And they's killing me about they got so much hatred and want to do so much to Hispanic people, yet Trump just went and bailed out Argentina. gave them so many millions of dollars to get their books in order till they stopped charging the high taxes, which made China run to them to buy soybeans and rice and all this stuff because they grow that same stuff in Argentina. So China then bought billions of dollars of grains from Argentina and has ordered zero from American farmers. And the last time I checked, Argentina was a Hispanic country, right? But Trump is there giving them money and not giving the American farmers who 99% of them voted for him. But the terrorists has killed them. They crying, they praying, they meeting, now they getting mad. They want him to pay them for their crops they losing, they mildewing, they molding in the silos. The other people who would buy them, the Save the Children type places, he cut them out. So they're not buying from America. He basically has cut off his own people. He's waged a war against his own citizens. So, I mean, I don't understand how everybody can't see this. I mean, we need to find out what kind of spell these maggots got on them and see if we can break it. I mean,
I like
seriously.
that,
What kind of spell they got on them? I mean, they in a Kool-Aid haze.
Sound like
You know,
Jim Jones stuff.
Yes, literally. Because a lot of them are going out there killing people and then unaliving themselves. So it is ending up being that way. So you want to deport the people that's Hispanic back to their country, but you want to go to a Hispanic country and give them money. So now we know automatically, what are you getting out of this? You're not doing this because you're such a nice guy and want to help somebody out. What are you doing this for?
That's a good question you raised, Sister Toni, because they bombed the boats out of Venezuela, but you give money to Argentina.
Because they want Argentina to help them grab and take over Venezuela. Trump's starting with Venezuela, and he need Argentina to be on his side to get to Venezuela. And I don't believe no more than I believe R. Kelly can fly, that they had people on those boats that he so say had the military bomb. In this age of good satellite pictures and cameras all up in the sky, and you mean you could give me only a blurry picture with look like crash test dummies? Who put 13 people on a boat to go do something illegal? Come on now.
Right.
We know illegal. I know people that's criminals that do illegal stuff. And they doggone sure don't do it with a whole lot of people. But anyway, we've come to the end of our show, people.
Yes.
Be safe out there.
What a powerful show. What a powerful show. Excellent. Good information, Sister Toni. Divine Prince bringing on such great topic tonight. Sister Bianca, we like your input. Our chat stay busy. They don't get to talk, but they do stay busy because I'll be reading. With that, I say we just got to continue to keep our eyes open for those who watch the news through the internet or through their phones. We got to continue to learn. And Sister Toni, you opening my ears up to stuff that I just didn't know. And I'm sorry to say that. I just didn't know Argentina was going to be playing a hand with Venezuela. And I appreciate that. Yes, but I'd like to
Yeah,
go ahead
go
on.
go. Just don't believe what I say. Go do the research. I done the research. I put a lot of stuff on my page, but I
Okay.
also pinned to the top of my page, so you would not have to stroll down through all the stuff that I post. If you are interested in Hoodoo Heritage Month daily
Mm-hmm.
activities that you could do in your home, and half of them don't even cost money, in honor of, Hoodoo Heritage Month. It has something to do different every day, and I pinned that on the top of my page so you wouldn't have to scroll, because man, there's so much information that's not getting out to people, like what I
Mm-hmm.
just said, that I'm trying to put out, hoping people
Mm-hmm.
see it. The mainstream media is afraid to put out too much because they're
Mm-hmm.
scared of getting canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
With divine Prince permission, Sister Toni, some of the people in the chat, I follow you. I'm tagged in. I read everything you post. But you're opening it up to some of the people in the chat. I don't know, maybe Monday you could let them know how to tag into you or something of that nature.
Just
Maybe
drop
Monday.
your URL in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close us out then. That's good. Thanks, Divine Prince. Lest we forget, the spiritual medicine of voodoo brings healing and relief from the shackles of slavery that binds the master and the slave to the same chain of social division. We in this walk together, so we gotta find a way to live and survive. With that, I say, have an awesome weekend, everyone. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Good night, and we love you all. Thanks for showing up.
good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Odabo.
Good night.
Mhm.
What voodoo means to me is it just kind of connects all the dots. So, in this lifetime, we experience different paths to spirituality, and it's the one practice that encompasses all the paths in essence, so where a person can feel comfortable to be themselves. What voodoo means to me
Is heaven the same thing as Orun? In Western thought, there is a popular concept of heaven. And what I have noticed is that it isn't present in many African cosmologies. I mean the concept of heaven in the Western sense. The Yoruba people, for instance, have the concept of Orun, which may be similar to, but not exactly the same thing as heaven. Heaven is often about morality, judgment, reward, but Orun is more about connection and cosmic rhythm. Orun is not another location entirely. Orun is an aspect of this world that we cannot see, the invisible realm, the immaterial. That is why when you observe how Orun is used in Ifa, the Yoruba scriptures, you'd realize that it is intertwined with Aye. Orun is the spiritual realm that Olodumare dwells. Orun is where the Orisha dwell, not necessarily a place of judgment and reward. Orun is where we came from. Your parents are your Orun, your source, your origin. In fact, that is the literal meaning of the word Orun. The word Orun means to begin, to start, to source from something, which is why we have a word such as Orirun. And when something dies or perishes, we say kini ohun ti parun. Parun, meaning the very source of life of that thing has been killed. So Orun is our source, and we extend that meaning to our parents. Obi eni, orun eni ni ṣe. That, very briefly, is the summary of the Yoruba concept of Orun. We came from the world of the unborn into the world of the living, and from here we shall go to the world of the ancestors. And those ancestors are called Ara Orun. When an Egungun dances, that is Orun speaking through the Eku. Orun is not a faraway fantasy. It is a place that is already known to your spirit. Washiri.
Please, allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this right in my DNA, yet I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, flip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees, it's time you pay for your dirt and your shit. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation, and I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner. Oh, do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she's straight. But she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Meet you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit Westside. He looks me in my eye and says, "You only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise." Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down.